What's happening, folks? Welcome back to another episode of Street Notes. Today, as always, I'm shooting in Denver with the Fujifilm X100V. And first of all, got a couple warm-up shots here. Early on in the day, as is often the case, I was not really feeling it, wasn't seeing things, maybe the place wasn't busy enough yet, and I just had a feeling that maybe it wasn't going to go so well. But I found this little patch of light here, and I felt like my fortunes were changing a little bit. So I sort of posted up here for a bit. I noticed that there was shadows casting on that box, whatever it is, thing in the street there, and I was waiting on some people passing through to see if I could find something interesting. After a little while, this sort of like three people walked past at the same time. We've got that shadow of the person on the right cast on the box thing. We've got the silhouette of the person in the middle, and then a silhouette of person on the left as well. This is a bit closer. I think maybe I was in the wrong spot and I wanted more light cast on the people coming through. There was a few buses stopping here as well, and this lady who was jumping on the bus and this person walking past. Turned out pretty well. There's not really any gesture or like proper interest in this picture. I do like though that the guy's shadow is cast on that box thing, so it makes like a third subject and kind of balances the photo out. This is actually a different bus now, and it sat there for a little while, and this guy walks through. He is framed nicely within that door, and his shadow was also cast on the box thing, but he was gesturing at the time, which I think is the only thing that saves this picture. And one final attempt here as this couple walks past. Didn't really work out how I planned, but I shot a lot of photos like this, and there was a heck of a lot of failures. Saw these people putting up Christmas decorations. I took this picture because I saw the two ladders, and they matched each other. I don't know, I thought it might turn into something, but there's no good light on them. It was just, they're in shade, so it doesn't really work out. This intersection here, I sort of felt like all these people were gonna cross paths in an interesting way, and lucky enough they did. What I like about this is that they're all separated from each other, so it creates all those different layers. So there's 4 different layers in this, and then there's also that vanishing perspective going down the street. And it's also just nice light, because in the winter you've got that nice angular light in the middle of the day, and actually also their shadows don't really cross over with each other. Maybe I would have liked something to being closer to the camera to get more of a depth, like feeling of depth, but this was I was quite happy with this one. I was going for the person carrying all the pizza boxes, but they stepped into the shade, and actually I kind of like about this is that just her hair is lit up by the sun. I thought it was kind of cool. Not a great photo, but I just like the hair. Here I've been walking down the block through the shade trying to get in front of this guy that has a blue guitar case. There's another person on the street here busking, so I decided to try and compose with both of them in the shot. This is sort of a panic. I don't have any time to think about this one, and I mean, I got something, but I don't think it's really what I was hoping for. I think the background's a little too chaotic. I could have probably picked a better spot than that. On this corner, the light was hitting well, so we're hanging around on these corners for a while. I see this guy who's like almost saluting when he's shielding his eyes from the sun, and I don't even know if he saw me because he had glasses on, and he certainly didn't say anything, and I just sort of rolled past and got this photo, and I really like it. It's one of my favourites of the day. Back on this same corner, this really interesting couple come through here, and that guy was fixing his glasses, and I wish I'd maybe just like took more shots and got in front of them. And what I like here is he's gesturing towards his glasses. I do wish that his hat was better defined because it's in the shadow there, so that kind of is a shame. I tried to fill the frame with more people and more interest, make it more complex. So I've got the guy on the left hand side who's dressed in the same colours, also has glasses on, not that that makes a big difference. But I like that the person on the right with the hat, His little finger almost looks like a big nose, and we're kind of far away to really see that. But I also like that his hat, the shadow of his hat is cast on that pole behind him. Not the best frame, but I do quite like it, and I think I'm going to warm up to it, and I just wish there was more going on within it. Here I definitely just stole the shot that Rudy saw, and he was trying to shoot, he was trying to wait for this guy's silhouette to sort of pass by the side of the tent, and so I did the same thing, and it's okay. Sitting here, hanging on this street corner, just waiting to see if lots of people would come through, or sometimes it just happens that, you know, people are waiting at crossings, so a lot of people pass by at the same time. But we've got our three shadows on the ground there as we're leaning against this wall. And eventually this person walks through with blue pants and a red fanny pack or something, or handbag, and I kind of like this. I didn't expect that I was going to like it, because I don't usually just like plain shots of people walking through, but like all of the long shadows kind of add something to it. So there's like these four shadows on the ground, and then she fills up the frame on the left hand side. Waiting around on another street corner. There's a lot of buses coming through here, so I'm doing a lot of shooting through the bus windows. We've got this one here, it's nice strong backlight coming from the sun, and then the outline of these two people in the bus, and the one person gesturing towards their mask to fix it, which I quite like. Still on that same street corner, there's two people in front of me with blue on, and then there's this person walking through here with blue jeans. And this one looks okay. I like that there's three different sets of blue. It also matches with the sky, and we've got our shadows again in the picture. I like these sort of front-lit scenes. I enjoy that warm winter light, and when you've got the blue stuff contrasting with it, the shadows are kind of blue as well. I like the feel of it. Now I want to take a second to thank the last two people who have supported me on buymeacoffee.com. It's helped me to pay for my gas and also for parking as I drive up to Denver to make these photovlog things, street notes episodes as often as I can. So I appreciate the support. You've helped me to continue doing this, and hopefully you get something valuable out of me making these. Got more blue and orange contrast here. It sort of emerged as a theme of the day without me really even realizing it at the time. There's another group of people sort of all passing by at the same time. This is one of my favorite thing to look for just now. I kind of like that my shadow is cast on that guy's shoulder. This one's not great, it could be a lot better, but this is me just kind of working the scene and trying to figure it out. Across the road here, and there was a nice like beam of light there. I wish I'd been a little further over to the left, but I got these two guys coming through, and then there's a bunch of other people passing through as well. But I love that this guy's face is just lit up by that beam of light there, and there's like all this. It's like, you know, orange skin tones, and then there's this blue shadows round about him, and then there's this nice yellow light sort of beam cast through there. We've got someone else's shadow, which is completely separated from the rest of the shadows in the frame. This was another frame just like a quarter of a second later, as the two guys, everybody was in shadow, and there was a different person whose face was lit up by the sun there. This is me running towards this person on a scooter. She was fiddling with her scarf, and it was a red scarf on a red scooter and a green scarf, but she stopped and just kind of looked at me with her arms folded. So it didn't come out as well as I hoped at the time, but you know, whatever, gotta try. Diner windows are always a fun thing, or any window in general can be fun to shoot through if there's nice light behind it. Just trying to make some sort of abstract scene. This shot didn't turn out too well. Rudy's in it, which actually I think helps to fill the frame up, and I like that the biker's shadow is also separated from everybody else's. I just wish he'd been maybe, 8 inches further to the right, so I could have got more of him in the shot. And this shot I don't think can be considered a serious street shot, because we were calling Jack to come back down the stairs because we knew that he was going to cast a shadow and a silhouette. So that was my first photo vlog in a couple of weeks. I wasn't able to get out last week for whatever reason. I think I was at the dentist, can't remember exactly why. And pleasantly surprised, when I arrived in the city it was totally dead, but then it kind of hit lunchtime and people started to come out, so the afternoon was much better. The weird thing about the light in the wintertime in Denver is it gets very low very early, which is normal, but it only comes down the side streets, and generally that's not where most of the traffic is, so we're sort of sticking to those corners and walking between them instead of walking up and down and having sun everywhere. But that's fine, because what you end up with is pockets of really beautiful light and these intersections where people are crossing over. And right now they're still a little bit quiet, but I'm hopeful that next winter or later this winter or early spring, maybe it'll get a little bit busier and there'll start to be some really cool stuff happen there. An emerging theme of the day seemed to be this orange and blue colour, and I think just the light was orange, the shadows were blue, so I automatically had that there. People's skin tone tends to be kind of more of an orange hue, and then if they're wearing blue, you get that contrast as well. So there was lots of pictures where I had a lot of orange and blue, and so I have this photo set which I think looks quite nice because it's all tied together with that same sort of colour, and maybe even another photo set as well that ties in as well but doesn't. I think the first one looks better. One thing I did notice is that after kind of pushing through my fears from the last video, in this video I was much braver when approaching people or feeling like I was gonna get seen. And I don't know if it was a breakthrough or if I just got lucky, but I felt like I was able to get more photos that included layers and more things, while also it not being like overly complicated or just like confusing to look at. Now, this might be my last photo vlog for a little while. I don't know how things are gonna look in the next week or two, but stuff's starting to close down again a little bit, so I don't know if I'm gonna put a pause on street notes for a while and maybe figure out some other types of videos that I want to make in the meantime. So I guess I'll just play that by ear and we'll see what happens. I don't really want to go wandering the streets if there's nobody out anyways. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Drop me a comment down below, let me know what you thought, let me know what your favourite photo was. Tell me the timestamp of it if that helps. I know I haven't been putting like a number in the pictures, the titles take me so long to do. I only have iMovie, I need to get a better software at some point. So yeah, thanks very much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.